All right, what is going on, everybody? We're here to give some reviews of games from last night, um, December 3rd, Knicks versus the Magic, and Nuggets versus the Warriors. This had some NBA Cup implications. They were NBA Cup games. We will also review, or preview, I should say, the games coming up that were because of the implications tonight. We have some wild cards to discuss. We have some matchups already set in stone. Um, for today, we're going to talk about the games that happened last night. And if you like the video, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment your own opinions. If you want to watch more videos, maybe you could consider subscribing too. I'm a bit under the weather, so if I sound a little different, I apologize. If you hear some longer pauses, I also apologize. Um, but we're going to get right into it. We're going to actually go in reverse order. I usually do the early games and then the late games. The Knicks versus Magic wasn't that entertaining, wasn't that wild of a game. This Warriors Nuggets game, however, was crazy. It was a battle, and I'd like to talk about this one first, just so we get it out of the way. I've recorded my whole intro and did all of this looking at the wrong box score, and I caught it about maybe like 3 minutes in. So let's just talk about the game that happened last night, and not the game from freaking last year, because that's the box score I pulled up. um, Draymond Green did not play. Um, he was out. So no Draymond Green. That meant more Jonathan Kuminga minutes, and Jonathan Kuminga did get the start. Um, and yeah, let's just dive into the numbers before we get into the other stuff. Um, Everybody in the starting lineup played well for the Warriors. Um, Jonathan Kuminga 19 points, 5 rebounds. Kevon Looney 5 points, 11 rebounds. Andrew Wiggins 13. Steph Curry 24. Brandon Podziemski 13. Um, Steph did not have his best night. Brandon did not have his best night. Andrew was actually had a pretty well-rounded game. Um, just wanted a little bit more from him, and Jonathan Kuminga. Always the mystery dish in these kind of games. You don't know what Jonathan Kuminga you're getting, especially because Steve Kerr doesn't really run the rotations like he probably should. Um, and yeah, and then off the bench you had Gary Payton 11, uh, and Moses Moody with 13. Shot 2 for 6 from 3 point range and 4 for 10 overall. Not his best efficiency. But this game was a battle. It was back and forth. Um, I could actually give you the largest lead for the Warriors was 12, and it was the largest lead was 8 for the Nuggets. That gives you an idea of how close this game was if you didn't watch it. Um, High energy. The court hurt my eyes. That bright yellow court, it hurt my eyes. But uh, this was a back and forth game. Um, it was a similar story for both teams where when Steph Curry sat, the Warriors weren't really doing much, and then when Jokic sat for the Nuggets weren't really doing much, and they both couldn't play the whole game. You don't want to play the whole game in the beginning of the season, so it was sort of back and forth. It was the battle of the role players and the key players and the benches, and by the end, the Nuggets just wanted it more. They were they were diving on the floor. They were really making it tough. It was the classic let anybody beat us but Steph right down to the wire. Um, and talking about that, Aaron Gordon with almost a double double, 15 points, 9 rebounds in 33 minutes. Michael Porter, 22 points. Jokic with 38, 10, and 6. That's rebounds and assists. Uh, Jamal Murray somewhat uh, resurrected this game. 12 points, 4 for 12 overall. Not the best, 1 of 3 from three, but what are you gonna do? And Christian Braun sealed the game for the uh, for the Nuggets. He played great defense on Steph at the end, um, and he really just he did his thing out there. I'm not the biggest Christian Braun fan, but I like what I like how the Nuggets use him. Um, let's see here. Russell Westbrook and Payne Watson with 7 each. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, either of them. So yeah, this was a an interesting game. I really couldn't tell you. I couldn't. You could just say it's a Steve Kerr masterclass in failing to coach your team well. I don't think it was all Steve Kerr's fault, but it's not a good look when 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 your team implodes right at the end. Because I believe they had like 3 to 4 minutes left, and they were up like at least six, if I remember correctly. Obviously, the biggest lead was 12, but at the time I think it was six, and they went on a drought. I think, and then Jokic checked in the game, and then it was just kind of all downhill from there. It was really bad. Um, I didn't think this happened, but I saw it on the internet. I saw it on social media. Brandon Podzinski just brought the whole ship down essentially just with his I don't want to say inconsistency, but like just what he was doing out there in total. I didn't feel that way. I think Warriors fans feel that way, but he just brought it down. He killed the momentum apparently, but I think you have to hang your hat on. You almost beat this somewhat good Nuggets team who's 11-8 on the season, and you're 12-8. Um, that you almost beat them, and without Draymond Green. And does Draymond Green make the difference here? I I don't know. I mean, I always feel like Aaron Gordon plays good against Draymond Green. I feel like Jokic plays decently against Draymond, but the Warriors just couldn't. It's the sum of a bigger problem where when Steph doesn't have anybody else out there to really like create, like they had like I saw Gary Payton second take a shot at the end of the game. I don't want Gary Payton the second taking a shot at the end of the game. When Buddy Hield is sort of has these up and down moments because he is Buddy Hield, and you'll go on the Buddy Hield experience at every stop. It's been that where you have a great month, and then the next month he just can't play basketball. Um, and his thing is shooting. And when you go 2 for 6 and you only have 6 points and only 3 rebounds and no assists, like you're not really doing much else out there for the team. And the Warriors just imploded at the end. I'll say it again. Um, just looking at the numbers, the percentages and the numbers, the Nuggets had a better field goal. They had a better 3 point. They had a free throw percentage. The Warriors had more rebounds, surprisingly, offensive and defensive. Um, the Warriors had more assists just by four. Warriors had more steals. The Nuggets had more blocks, and the Warriors fouled a lot. 10 more fouls than the Nuggets, and the story of the game really is the fast break points for the Nuggets. They had 25, and they had 44 points in the paint to the Warriors 50. And that's with Jokic having like 30 something. So you can't really you're not going to win a game where you just do the simple things adequately. You need to do them exponentially better because this is a scrappy Nuggets team who's always been this way, who will play down to the wire if it's. I don't think the NBA Cup had too much to do with it, but it was a nationally televised game, and you don't want to get embarrassed. And now the Warriors on a 5 game losing streak, and we could talk about how they dig themselves out, but this is sort of the Warriors without a secondary star really. When it was just Steph, when it was the COVID year, I believe, right? That was the COVID year where he had a great season. You just kind of shake your head and be like, well, a better coach would help, but like when you're dealing with this, just guys who are inconsistent in their role, like Aaron, I almost said Aaron Wiggins again. Andrew Wiggins, who you think is something for a couple weeks and then he just falls off again. Like it's basketball; these things are gonna happen, but you need to be more consistent, and they need something else. Because as much as I like to say that Jokic, when Jokic is off the floor for the Nuggets, they're a bad team, but they got Michael Porter, they got Jamal Murray, you got guys that will actually like attempt to shoot it at least, even if Michael Porter goes 8 for 14, which isn't crazy bad. Um, you have Aaron Gordon who goes 4 for 6, 3 for 4 from three. You know, these guys play hard. The Nuggets starting lineup, everyone played at least 30 plus minutes, and the Warriors starting lineup, Andrew Wiggins and Steph Curry, the only ones that played 30 plus minutes. Jonathan Kuminga was about a minute off, but yeah, it was a great game though. It was a great game. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Um, felt like a playoff game. Felt like a first round playoff game, which was really good. Moving on, we're gonna cover this one quickly because, like I said at the beginning, it wasn't that crazy. Um, the Knicks versus the Magic. Magic are pretty banged up at this point, um, and the Knicks are rolling. They're 13-8 on the season, um, and the Magic are 15-8. Damn, I didn't know they were that good. Sheesh. The the Knicks, big time starting lineup. It's such a pleasure to see Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Miles Bridges, OG Anunoby, Conte Towns, all were in double digits. Mikal Bridges with 19, OG Anunoby with 18, Karl Anthony Towns with a double double, 23 points, 15 rebounds, Jalen Brunson with a cool 21, and Josh Hart with an 11. And Miles McBride with 18. Just a great game for the Knicks. They really held it down at home. Um, their biggest lead was 37. It definitely felt like that. They were just out there hooping. They were hooping. Um, liked a lot what I saw from Karl Anthony Towns. Obviously, he was going against like Tristan Da Silva and Wendell Carter Jr., who aren't necessarily the best defenders or best rebounders. But he got 15 boards, and I'm always happy when Carl gets his boards. Um, really good stuff. Um, Mikal looking more and more like himself from his Phoenix years, as a second to third option. Not the guy that he was in Brooklyn, but he's looking better. OG Anunoby just out there. Um, Jalen Brunson, man. Every time I watch Jalen Brunson, I'm like, man, how does he do it? Because to me, KCP, who is the primary defender on him, does a great job, and Jalen Suggs isn't a slouch either on the Magic. But KCP is one of the better defenders to me in the league, and Jalen Brunson was torching him on some of those rotations, some of those pick and rolls, just off the dribble stuff. It's like, wow, how can anybody stop this guy? I don't think you can. You know, when the Knicks have games like this, obviously they're not always going to be blowouts like this, but their bench didn't play well. Their Josh Hart played 39 minutes. This is the Tom Thibodeau special where your starters play a lot of minutes, but it kind of worked out, and you needed the point differential for the NBA Cup. So I can't be mad about Coach Tom Thibodeau playing those guys a lot of minutes. On the Magic side, Franz Wagner carries on his performances without Paulo with 30 points, um, 10 for 22. Not the best efficiency. Only made 1 3 out of his 5 attempts, and the only guy in double digits in the starting lineup was Jalen Suggs. Shout out Suggs. Um, Pope, not the best night for him. 3 for 7 from 3 point range. Um, Tristan Da Silva with 8. Carter with a 2, and the guys off the bench, Franz Wagner's brother Mo Wagner with 20 and 10. I don't know why he doesn't start. I don't know why he didn't start this game. That's such a weird coaching decision. I didn't even realize he didn't start. And Cole Anthony with 10. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Um, this was this was just a game that the Knicks are supposed to win, and that's really all I have to say about it. To me, it wasn't the most interesting game of the night, and I'm not even gonna go into the numbers. I would like to go, however, into some of the NBA Cup. What do you call it? Matchups and stuff. Let's see. I can pull it up here. I saw it earlier today. NBA. Da-na-na, na-na-na. All right, here we go. Am I reading this right? Yes, this is the right one. Okay. NBA Cup presented by Emirates. Um, the quarterfinals are in the West. The OKC Thunder and the Mavs. The Mavs beat the Grizzlies last night, so they got some good standing. I almost said Nuggets again. It's a Warriors, um, Rockets on the bottom side of the bracket, and in the East quarterfinal, it's Magic and Bucks and Knicks and Hawks. Um, I think when I did my predictions for the Cup, I said the Cavs could make a run. They're not even here right now. The Mavs are. That was my other pick in the other conference, so that's good. I made a good pick on that at least. Um, yeah, those games will happen next week, the 10th and 11th, if you're curious to watch them. Because I will definitely be watching. Um, and yeah, just going, I could give a quick prediction just going through what I think the results of these games could be. Um, well, not even these games. I want to go into individual games because we should probably save that for when we get closer. Um, but I will go. Oh man, it would be really cool. I'd either want it to be like two really young teams or just two older teams. I'd like to see the Mavs and the Knicks in the final. That'd be really cool. If anything, Rockets could make a push to make it to the final, or I'm not buying the Bucks carrying enough to get to Las Vegas. So I'll go Magic or Hawks if I want a young team, a younger team. So yeah, that's the NBA Cup and the games from last night. Um, Again, if you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment them down below and consider subscribing. Getting some traction here, man. Thank you all for the support and the views and everything. I appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers.